Okay, welcome everybody to Credit 4. Here's the first hint video for day 1. You're going to watch the introductory video and fill in your Google form based on your guess, and also take a look at what the other students have answered and answer the following questions. Okay, then we jump into this relationship here that has the number of female and male doctors, or percentage of male and female doctors. And it's represented by this equation right here for the number of male doctors and this equation right here for the number of female doctors. And just to kind of explain how this relationship works, you can see that here as the years go by, the number or the percentage of male doctors is decreasing and the percentage of female doctors is increasing. So this is kind of our rate of change. And this tells you that when t is equal to 0, so t is equal to 0, actually they're starting it out at 1960. So that's kind of like year 0 is 1960. And then so at 1960 there will be 0 here, makes that 0, so then there would be 98% of the doctors were male at that time and 2% were female at that time. Okay. And then it'll show you kind of one example that when we plug in a value of t is equal to 60, which is 60 years after 1960, so in the year 2020, they would predict that there would be 34% female doctors. This is the female doctor equation. Okay, so that's just plugging in t equals 60, and there's other relationships to look at there. I think these numbers, the 4 is not a multiplication, it's just representing what equation, just for symbol purposes. So I think it'll probably be gone on your packet. Then we want to look at some verbal descriptions and put them into formula form. So what equation would represent in 1985 what percentage of U.S. medical doctors are male? Well, in 1985, that would be 25 years after 1960. So I'm looking at this relationship, 1960 to 1985. The difference between those would be 25 years. So I'm going to use t equal to 25. So what percentage would be y1 is equal to 98 minus 0.54 times 25, right? So I'll do that first one, but you're going to put into equation form for these others. So when will the percentage of male doctors fall to 40%? So which variable is representing the percent, right? Well, it's this one over here, and then t is representing the time. So the when, right? The when is representing at what time, right? So that's what you need to figure out, is put that into equation form with the t being unknown. Okay, and then you do those on those other ones. And then here, now we have the symbolic form, and we want to write in words. So write questions about the trends in percent of male and female doctors, and you're going to write in words what these equations would represent. Okay, so translate kind of this representation into words. So let's see, this is the female one, right? 98% is where it's starting, reducing by that amount. So maybe this would be when will the percentage of female doctors reach 65%, right? So that's what you could fill in there, and then you can come up with other questions for these other ones. And by the way, this inequality symbol, so less than, so when is this value less than 30? So maybe we talk about the time, at what point is the percentage staying below 30%? Okay, something like that. Then it goes on and it actually graphs the relationship. So you can see that the slope of the line, or the rate of change for the male doctors, is decreasing while the rate of change for female doctors is increasing. In the future, it probably is not the case that there's going to be more than 100% female, right? So at some point it's not going to be linear anymore, it's going to level off. and maybe stay around 50% or something like that. But we're just looking at kind of this small window of time to make these predictions, which kind of represents a linear graph. Okay, you have other questions to answer about the graph and its relationship to the equation. So in all of these, we have this sort of relationship where this can be represented as a graph. It can be represented in numerical values. It can be represented with words. So we're going to do each of those 4 things represented in different ways. Okay, and then more questions to answer about this problem. Then you go on and do a couple of other a couple other problems that relate linear equations and different ways to solve them. So you go ahead and read through those and work them out yourself. Okay, more linear equations, and that's basically it. And then you're going to write in your math notebook some different ways that you find solutions to an equation. You could list 3 or more. Find out different ways to find solutions to an equation that you listed, and which is the easiest for you and why. So this is really thinking about, what is the best strategy. So that's something that is very helpful in the workplace, is thinking, okay, this is going to be a quicker way to do it, or this is probably the best tool to find the solution to this problem. Okay, so go ahead and answer those questions in your notebook, and we'll see you next time.